Hey Taurus, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new viewers. I'm Simone, the Moon Goddess. So this is your reading for the full moon in Scorpio, okay? So this is going to be a big one. Scorpio is all about moving from the scorpion to the eagle to the phoenix. It's all about transformation, rebirth, regeneration, you know, digging deep, digging deep. Then you have the moon in Taurus, sorry, the sun in Taurus. So it's that energy of luxury, building, ambition, just living the good life. Okay, so we're looking at how are we, what aspects do we need to dig deep. It's kind of similar to the shadow videos that I did 2 weeks ago or a week ago. How are we digging deep to live, to get to that phoenix stage? Okay, to get to that rebirth, to take us to the next level. Okay, so before we get started, housekeeping matters. Anybody who's interested in a personal reading, all of my details are in the description box below, so get in touch. Follow me on Instagram, the Moon Goddess Tarot, and yeah, I think that's about it. So let's get in to see what's going on with Taurus. Okay, so I've already grounded myself, I've already said my prayers, asking my spirit guides and the benevolent collective to assist us in these messages. May they be for the highest good of all involved, with harm to none. Okay, Ashe. So what's happening with Taurus for this full moon in Scorpio? What's the root for Taurus? What's going on? Okay, here we go. Okay, Taurus, the devil reversed is your root to what's happening. And there's interesting energies because, again, we're dealing with Scorpio full moon, okay? So that is the shadow self. That is your taboos, your deep-seated emotions, things that you hide from others, things that you might even be hiding for yourself. Okay, so when you have the devil reverse, it's like this energy is also associated with Capricorn, okay? You see how they're like rooted, knitted to each other, can't move, feel trapped. There's no breath, there's nowhere to breathe, there's no growth in this. You know, reverse is like there's a sense that you are realizing the aspects of yourself that you deny, the aspects of yourself that you need to release and bring breath into. You know, we talk about all this love and light, and we forget that from the darkness is where life comes. Okay, babies are in the womb in the darkness, seeds grow underneath the earth in the darkness. So you need to embrace the darkness. You need to embrace your shadow. There's so much beauty in that. Okay, so when I see the devil reverse, it's like I feel like you are recognizing that. Okay, you're recognizing where you're being held back by yourself, where you're self-sabotaging, where your limited self conversation dialogue is leading you, and you're realizing that you're creating as you think all of these things, and it might be so much a part of you. It's instinctual, you know, it's like your moon. It's like you don't even realize that you're having these thoughts. You're not even realizing how you're talking to yourself, you know. Okay, underneath that is the Two of Swords. So definitely making a decision here. Okay, like this card says peace on it. It's like ready to stop defending these negative, the aspects of you that might be holding you back. You know, you're ready to see the truth about yourself. There's clarity, maybe how you're communicating to yourself. There's growth in that. Okay, so let's see what's happening with in the self position. Okay, self. Nice clear message for Taurus. What's happening for self? I think that was the Empress that wanted to like jump out before. Okay, the Hierophant. Okay, the Hierophant. I feel like some of you might be looking into broadening your spirituality, broadening your scope, maybe getting more into it, possibly like meditating more, and maybe that's why this energy of wanting to free yourself, seeing yourself clearly and not this skewed sense of who you are, skewed, like one of them magic mirrors. You know, the world sees you as one thing and you see yourself as something totally skewed and warped. And this Hierophant comes in. This is the self. This is how your higher self, even. You might be feeling these urges to free yourself because there's a connection that's an awakening that's happened. Okay, where you start to kind of dissociate yourself or pull back from this material realm so much and realize that underneath all of that there's spirituality. That's all we have. Okay, Five of Wands is at the bottom of the deck with this Hierophant, which talks about strife, conflict, competition, you know, like a battle of some sort. And I feel as this is about yourself. Okay, I don't feel like that's outside of you. I feel like this, whatever has happened here with this Devil and this Two of Swords, it's caused a strike. You know, this caused some kind of spark to go off inside of you. Okay, and you're starting to see things in a different way. I feel like this is internal. This is your internal fires here. Okay, and you have such grounded energy with the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is about spirituality. It could be about religion. Anything that has a real basis, like it's established. Okay, it's like a key. Okay, it's like yeah, so I feel like in this it's a spiritual awakening that's happening here. It's also interesting, this is card number 5 and this is 5 of Wands, and fives are about transition. Fives are transition energies, things moving. So that's interesting, Taurus. I want to go a little bit deeper and we'll use another deck for this. I want to see what's your divine masculine energies and your divine feminine energies. So we'll pull 2 cards with this deck. This is my African American tarot deck, which is absolutely gorgeous. So let's pull 2 cards and see. Okay, your first, so this is your divine feminine energies, okay? 10 of Cups. Okay, look at how beautiful that is. It's like celebration, is harmony here. Fulfillment. This is, I mean, like, look at the card again. Celebration. Real fulfillment here. Let's see what's your divine masculine energies. It's the divine masculine for Taurus. Okay. Okay, so it's 5 again. 5 of Swords. So Taurus, you got a lot of 5 energy here. Right now it's like 5, 5, 5 and a 10. So that's really interesting. 5 of Swords is like, again, this kind of battle, this kind of conflict here happening. Okay. Somebody's not happy. Somebody feels defeated. Somebody feels, but this is you. So you have 10 of Cups for your feminine energies and 5 of Swords for your masculine energies. Where can you like bring balance into that? Okay, here you have this 5 of Wands. There's like this battle happening, this internal battle happening, and this is you being very chilled, your higher self. I reckon this is your higher self energy. Okay, and your ego battling. Okay, because at the end of the day, there's so much comfort in being tied to the things that hold you back. There's so much comfort in that, but you're making the decision to let go of that, aren't you? But there will be some internal battle happening. Okay, I feel like that's your divine masculine and feminine arguing, like, no, let me run things, or even your ego energies. Okay, so there's this sense of joy and happiness, and that's what wants to come out, wants to happen. But your divine masculine might be feeling a sense of defeat. There needs to be some balance between the two. Bottom of the deck is Ten of Swords. So again, like, something has to die away. Something has to die away for your greatest to come out. Okay. So that's interesting. Let's see what's happening with your reflections. What's happening with Taurus's reflections. So this is your relationships, how you relate to others, your mirrors, your reflections. Two cards. You have Seven of Cups and Nine of Cups. So it's like, how much do you have debauch and happiness, okay? Let's, I feel like there's this sense of illusion happening here, or you become so you indulge so much into other things, the things like the distractions. Okay, they bring you happiness for some reason. There's some aspects of you that are like distractions, but they bring some levels of happiness to you. Okay, let's see, let's clarify. Okay, got the Moon. Okay, so some level, and Seven of Cups is very much about illusions. The Moon energies is about illusions as well. Like, what choices are you making as far as your relations? And Seven of Pentacles is here. Okay, so I feel like you might be putting a lot of work into making other people happy. And there's some aspects of your relationships, your mirrors, that you're not seeing. You know, maybe the parts of you that kind of judge other people, but you don't realize that they're mirroring you. So it's easier to project outwards than to say, okay, there's aspects. I feel this way about this. I don't like this about this person because this is an aspect of me that I might not like. Or an aspect, for example, people who hate liars. It might not necessarily be that you are a liar. It might be that you are naive. You know, so some of it might be a direct mirror, and some of it might be a trigger for your healing, you know. With this Seven of Pentacles, I feel like this is you running yourself ragged over how you relate to others as well, because that came up for you in readings previous, where it was like, it felt as if you were putting a lot of effort into a situation that wasn't serving your highest good. Maybe into relationships that don't really serve your highest good, because you got this Seven of Cups here. Okay, debauch, and it kind of reminds me of the devil energy. These two people so trapped with each other. And I don't know if it's like when you relate to others, you might become so attached, so much so that you give away yourself to the point where you run yourself ragged, I feel. Why is the moon card here? Why is the moon here? Why is the moon here for Taurus? Okay. So 7 of Swords reversed. Okay. So there's lots of, looking back. It's interesting because you got 7s. On one side you got 5s and 10s. On this side is 7s. 7s. The moon is card 18. You got 9. So 7 of Swords reversed. Like, maybe you trying to get away with something. Maybe you feel like if you don't show your true self to people, that they wouldn't like you or get you, or so it's a sense of putting on an illusion. Maybe there's so much darkness going on with you, Taurus, that you give off this sense of happiness and happy-go-lucky, but really and truly that's just masking a lot of darkness and turmoil, and just things turn over. I feel like stomach churning over, you know, that kind of vibe. You have 8 of Pentacles here, being prudent. You got to put the work into your healing self. No more distractions, no more even distracting yourself with the work. I know Taurus is all about getting the money and getting a beautiful life and all that, but I feel like in some aspects it's like a sense of distraction. And then you have their 2 of Swords here, where she's like, in this card she's not blindfolded, but traditionally she's blindfolded. You see her arms like across the chest, blocking off any kind of like real connections, and that's something that's coming for Taurus, you know. Putting up barriers to connections. I feel like bottom of the deck is Strength here. Sorry, not Strength. 9 of Wands. But putting up walls, more or less. Okay. So where's Taurus going? Taurus, Judgment is here. Okay, answer the call. And I feel that call goes back to the Hierophant. Okay, this is self. Your higher self calling you to tap into more than just materials, okay? Balancing not just the things that you feel happy, that make you feel happy and fulfilled, and like, you know, the socializing and the partying and all that, but also balancing how you communicate with others, you know, how you mend relationships, how you mend the relationship with yourself. What aspects of your internal self, your thought process, are you hiding? Because you put a lot of effort into, you know, there's lots of emotional energies here, but how much of your, you know, where your thoughts kind of like trapping you in some way. Okay. What's the word of advice for Taurus? What's the word of advice for Taurus? Okay, wow, Taurus. Scorpio is here. It's time to rebirth. It's time to rise like the phoenix. Here it is. You can't get any more clear than that. So it's like judgment has been, the message, the sound has been, okay, the trumpet has been sounded. It's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to float upwards. Definitely. Beautiful. Beautiful, Taurus. Beautiful. Bottom of the deck is the Hermit reversed, which is your internal rudders, okay? Your internal lighthouse. It's reversed. So I feel like you feel deeply that these are the changes you want to make, you're being called to make. They're surfacing for you as far as how your self-work, your inner work, okay? But you might be having moments of wanting to ignore the messages, wanting to ignore the call, wanting to ignore that sense of wanting to be by yourself, in solitude, in stillness, away from the crowd. Might be kind of avoiding that in some way. If you go back to this five of wands and the strife that's happening, the inner conflict, the inner battles I feel that's happening with you. But push through, because there's some beautiful energy here, some beautiful growth energy happening here for you. Again, don't get caught up in the illusions of friends. People who you think are friends might not necessarily be, might be smiling in your face, you know, to some level, but that's just illusion. How much of you are you giving away for these friendships? How much of you are you showing them that's not really you, but you feel like you need to put on a show for them to stay around? They're not really your friends. Fork in the road reversed, okay? So there's really no right or wrong way to deal with this. Go with the flow, okay? Because you will always be led back to yourself. If you tap in, go quiet, go still, connect, dissolve, all the answers you seek will come. And I know it sounds a bit cliche or whatever, but you're already doing the work. You're already feeling that you want to cut away something. You're already detaching from something. Whether it's a way of life, a person, a situation, how you deal with your inner dialogue. Because you're seeking that peace. And here is like judgment has been thing. Like you feel this way because you're being called your higher self, your spirit team, your ancestors, your benevolent ancestors. Okay? They're calling you to come forward, to step out, to show the real you, your trueness. It's time to like elevate, float up, flow upwards. Okay, Taurus? Let's see. One more oracle card. What message you want to share with Taurus for this full moon in? Okay, let me shuffle again. Let me shuffle properly. What message you want to share with Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter for the full moon in Scorpio? And it says new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. Okay, Taurus? So it can't get any more clear than that. It's like stepping out of your comfort zone is never, it doesn't ever feel good, but it's something that has to be done. Okay, being pushed forward. So embrace what is flowing. Embrace the darkness. Embrace your taboos. Embrace those parts of you that you do not like to look at. Look at them, sit with them, observe them, let the emotions, let the energies come up. What is it you're carrying that you don't need to anymore? Who, you know, what are you satiating? What parts of you that you're satiating, whether it's through food or socializing or giving away your time, your money, your efforts to other people. All of that. Dig deep. Dig deep. Okay, Taurus? So that's your message for this full moon in Scorpio. If the messages resonate, drop a comment, like my video, you know, all that good stuff. And until next video, Taurus, big love to you. Take care. Bye-bye.